I am Record Officer Number 11. The evidence delivered to the evidence room today wasn't a weapon, it wasn't a fingerprint, it was a DNA report. It contained just one sentence. The alleged father is excluded as the biological father. But here's the question. This report wasn't made before they reunited. It came 16 years later. For 16 years, he had called that man Dad. Cut to black. What happens when someone spends 16 years believing they've finally found their family, only for a single sheet of paper to tell them it was never real? Then perhaps what truly went missing wasn't his parents, but his entire life. In 2008, a man finally found his biological parents. The TV crews came, the reporters came, even the police were there. Everyone celebrated the reunion. The woman held him tightly and said, "My son, you're finally home." The man pulled out an old photograph. The little boy in the picture looked almost exactly like him as a child. Every memory seemed to fit. There was a river by the house, an elementary school in the village, and a little girl who always played with him. No one had any doubts, not even himself. So he believed it, and that belief lasted for 16 years. But 16 years later, one unexpected event shattered everything. At first, he only wanted to have his father's blood drawn for a routine medical checkup. Then a friend casually said, "Since you're already doing it, why not run a DNA test too?" A few days later, the lab report arrived. He stood by the side of the road, unable to say a single word, because the report contained just one conclusion: no biological relationship. 16 years as father and son never existed. 16 years as mother and son never existed. The family he had spent so long searching for had never been his family at all. Wang Gong immediately called the man. "The results are back. We're not father and son." There was a long silence on the other end. Finally, the man said just one sentence. "I'm sorry. I lied to you." Wang Gong asked him, "Why?" The man fell silent for a long time. Then he revealed the secret he had kept for 16 years. The truth was, he had never been Wang Gang's biological father. Many years earlier, he had only taken Wang Gang in for a short time. Later, unable to register the child under his household and afraid of getting into trouble, he gave the boy away to another family. From that day on, they never saw each other again. But what they never expected was that this lie wouldn't last for a day or a year. It would last for 16 years. And they never imagined that 16 years later, a single DNA test would bring every lie crashing down. "I did it for your own good." Just 4 words, for your own good. Yet they stole 16 years of a man's life. The truth was, that man had only taken him in for a short time. Back then, in front of the reporters, the police, and the national media, the whole family played their parts in the same lie. And the biggest secret of all was this: not a single one of them ever told him the truth. What made it even more heartbreaking was this: if they hadn't lied 16 years earlier, he still could have met his real father. But by the time the truth finally came out, his biological father had already been dead for 6 years. What he lost wasn't just a family reunion, it was an entire lifetime he could never get back. I went back through every piece of evidence: the old photographs, the videotapes, the DNA report, and one recording that no one had paid attention to back then. In it, an elderly man said, "The police are going to come for us." At the time, no one understood what he meant, but 16 years later, Those words finally made sense. What they feared was never the family reunion. It was the truth. He kept searching, and this time, the real lead came from another adoptive father. That lead eventually led him to his biological mother, but this time, he didn't accept it right away. The first thing he did was take a DNA test. A few days later, the results finally arrived. Mother and son confirmed, after more than 40 years, for the first time in his life, he finally knew who he really was. Later, someone asked him, "Do you hate them?" He answered, "My greatest regret wasn't being deceived. It was knowing that. If someone had told the truth 16 years earlier, I could have seen my father one last time." I am Record Officer Number 11. The evidence sealed away today is a DNA report. It didn't prove who committed a crime, but it did prove something else. Sometimes, a single lie doesn't steal your identity. It steals 16 years of your life, years you can never get back.